Hello there, welcome to my channel. I think what is the 9th update now for the save file that I've been working on for Sanger Island for The Sims 3, of course. I have my sim here, Time Travel, from my current Into the Future Let's Play, who will be the sort of example sim while we look around the world. So check out that Let's Play. I actually have a playlist on my channel that you could click above to watch after this video. But I have a couple of things, of course, to show today. The map really is starting to fill out now, and I'm so happy about that because it means that I have a lot more done now and there will be less for me to have to work on. Not that I'm not enjoying making this save file, it has just been so time consuming, and I really would like to eventually release this for download and just for myself to be able to play in it, because I haven't played in this world really since I've downloaded it, and I really want to be able to do that because it's so beautiful. So let's take a look at the stuff that I have ready for everyone to look at today. First, we will take a look at this cafe that I created. Ignore the names for now, those are just there for me once I make the finalized version of the save file so I know where to plop the lots down. And this is a cafe slash computer, or I guess internet cafe sort of situation, but it has the same exact exterior for the buildings that are next to it that are the livable townhomes. It just, of course, is turned into a commercial lot, but I do have it set up where the top floor is blocked off, so you only get use of the first floor because that's the only part that's going to be functional. So I wanted to give the idea anyway that maybe the owners, maybe the people that work at these stores are the owners of these businesses, and maybe they live upstairs. Do you know what I mean? So that's what I was trying to go for there. Now let me pull the walls up all the way. So I wanted to make it where it's kind of possible for Sims to people watch, I guess you could say, or it looks like they're people watching while they're getting a nice cup of coffee. They can sit here and use their laptops. I did test it already, so that's how I know. There's some outdoor seating here too if they have a nice quick bite to eat, to spend time with someone that they are hanging out with here, to simply do some work. There is some stuff to do outside. This is embedded in the world, so if there's a kid here they could come use these. And yeah, we'll just look at it really quickly from each section. There's a tiny bathroom here. This is more of like a reading area. This is from Roaring Heights, this bookshelf. And I did use the 4:3 Pride collection that was converted by Simming Berryland, which I do use throughout this build, or throughout this world save file anyway, so that's not to worry. And then this is the internet cafe, or I guess you could say store, that they also let you use and test out the computer situation. So it already is set up with the podiums. You do need the Savvy Seller collection though, because I use the Savvy Seller register, and I put the rugs down, which is how I made these functional to purchase. But I think this lot is really multifunctional, and I think it is cute. It definitely blends in with the rest of this area because of course it has the same outer shell as the other two houses here, which I think is really nice to have. And then over here is actually one of my favorite lots I built recently. Well, I guess we could have my sim come here. One thing I will mention is that this has some routing issues, or at least I had a routing issue going through here when my sim had the ice cream truck up here, and it wouldn't let him get to the ice cream truck through this section for some reason. I don't know why, but I don't know if you could tell what this is, but it's meant to be a sort of farmer's market or flea market for the local independent businesses here. So I designed it in a way. I don't know what he's doing. I guess you can kind of test some things out here. So let's have him just come here to, I guess, purchase some stuff. But these do require the Carousel of Wonders set because it uses the tents and the pole with the lights here. And then I used some stuff from the fortune teller set as well, like the sign and of course the fortune teller sort of table here. But yeah, these are functional items from the store. This is the fruit and veggie stand, and I made it so that it is gonna have something pop up here. But yeah, as you can see, I have a bunch of things that I think also has the custom, I have some custom ingredients that pop up here too, so it's good to know about that object. But I just want to show how this functions, and of course you can come here and use the beekeeper box. And then over here I actually have some stuff for kids to also kind of get into the entrepreneurial mindset if they're they want to make some extra money with a lemonade stand, or they really love baking and they want to sell and share their baked goods with the rest of the locals. So I had a thing from Ambitions here, and then this is a store object that came with this other set here, and it's right across from the the performance park, so I think he can cut through here. Yeah, I just want to kind of show the routing here, so we can kind of cut across here, and there's like multi, like, I wouldn't say like functionality per se, but like ways to get through here, so it's like ease of access to these multiple locations. And like I mentioned, this isn't fully functional, so the clothing and this area here with the plants, they don't unfortunately have any functional abilities to them, though you could try to do that with some of the registers if you want to. I didn't want to make this a food area, like a food stall or anything like that, or anything for books, because I already have that in the world. So I just wanted to kind of give the effect and like kind of simulate the idea that it's supposed to be these things without it actually having that kind of functionality, if that was like even fully possible, you know. But I really love this lot. I think it is a nice tiny little corner in this part of the map, and I think it's nice to have a sort of local flea market for the local businesses, and I don't typically get to make lots like that or think to make those, so I was really excited to build that type of lot. The rest of the builds that I have to show are on this portion of the map. So this one here, this is of course a residential lot. It honestly has a funny story behind it. So this was heavily inspired. I'll put a photo up on the screen so you can get a visual of what I was going for. This was inspired by the house that was featured in the, I think like maybe early 2000s adaptation of the Charles Dickens story Nicholas Nickleby, starring Anne Hathaway. And I just like thought the house was so cute, and as soon as I saw it, because it was like the opening shot in the movie, I paused. I was like, oh, I need to build this in The Sims. And then I was like, wait a second, this goes really nice with the save file I'm making, and so I was like, I need to do this. So as soon as I finished watching that movie, I got right to it. But I do use a lot of the CC landscaping that comes with this world, so it's not anything you have to download because it comes with the files. But it really inspired me to add more colorful florals on the outside portion of the house. I just think it's really beautiful custom content to have for landscaping in general. They're just so nice to add around it, so that's what I did. This is kind of a above view of the lot. It's quite a large lot, so you do have extra space. One thing I want to mention though, I did build this with a constrained floor elevations cheat, so if you do want to extend the house itself, you will have to know how to use that cheat so you can fix the ceiling portion. Because I did use to elevate the height of this to do the proper setup for some of the like the windows and stuff. I put another layer here to make it a little bit taller, to also get the sort of vibe that the original house from the movie had. So that's just one thing to know. But this is the entryway here, and we have this living room. It has some florals, some, I guess you can say sage green, and one of my favorite hues of green. One of the walls in my bedroom actually is painted that, and we have some like different mixed matching couches to match the wallpaper here. And I did use this here as sort of like a bare wall that's meant to be sort of a part of the outside, to kind of give the idea that a part of the natural stone that was used to build this house is also exposed. I like to do that for certain little accents. It has a fireplace in the living room. I used some stuff from the 70s, 80s, and 90s stuff pack. I really like this wall unit for the television. I felt like maybe they use older technology in this house. And this is one of the bedrooms, though it can obviously be turned into any kind of bedroom or room if you don't want it to be like this. It only has one bathroom, but I fully furnished it. This is the entry hallway here. I didn't fully furnish everything, but I wanted to give enough to have like as a starter home. Well, it's not starter home price, but as to start off in the house when you buy it. And then this is the kitchen here. I used this custom flooring that was converted by Marta Sims' book. It's so beautiful. And then this is a smaller dining space here that seats up to 4 Sims. And then this is the main bedroom that has the large double bed. And I went for this sort of pretty blue color pattern here that I felt like fit well with the house. And then this is the backyard, and I think the backyard is so pretty. There's a lot of space. I love the whole like area here with the trees and the flowers, like the wildflowers growing here, and the bit of the pathway, because the dining room does lead out to the backyard instead of having to just walk around, so you have extra access to it. And then I put a tiny little space here for like a kid's playground for swings and a seesaw, so things for kids to do are on the lot. and especially because it is a large lot, you know, I feel like someone would have a bit of money, they would probably get a set like this for kids if they have them. And then I had this large outdoor dining table. These are chairs from the Province set from the store, but I felt like they fit really well with the style of his house, and I liked having these large trees here for shade to kind of blend in with the edge of the lot, just because it is off by the water. So this is like where the house is. It's at the edge of the map and like by the road, but there is an entry point or exit point here that has these sort of picnic tables and this little like waterside area where you can come fish and stuff. And I think it's really nice. It's definitely a beautiful lot to have Sims live on. So I was really excited to build this, especially because, like I mentioned, but it was inspired by a movie. So I think the last stuff I have to show is over here. One of them is a rabbit hole. I guess you can see it from here, but at least I finally did this. I was dreading building the shell for the stadium rabbit hole. It was the last rabbit hole I had left, but it was the only one that I could not fit in a original rabbit hole form, like the shells that EA gave us. So I had to build it myself, and I wanted it to fit in with the world. So I tried to mimic but give a different style to the outside, because it's meant to be a stadium, not a hospital, and I want it to look like a hospital. But I took the outer shell for the hospital and science lab just to give me an idea of what maybe I can do for the outer portion of the building. And for the roofing, I feel like it kind of melded it together, even though they're different color roofing and different color paint and stuff. So they have their own uniqueness but still have that sort of similar infrastructure. So this is the outside of it. I wanted to make it pretty simple. Only the first floor is functional. These are all blocked off. I have them where it skips the level, so you just only see it when you're not like loading into the lot. But this is what it looks like. It's pretty simple. I just wanted to have a lot of windows, and I wanted to, they may look a little weird now, I can't really tell, but I wanted to show that they had sort of like the sports team pride, and at night these glow, so I figured it would add a bit more illumination of light for the building. And then this is the entryway. I did actually decorate the inside. It doesn't function. These are just the Capital Cash boxes, so they're just for decoration, but it's to give the idea that this is meant to be where you come to get your tickets. Do you know what I mean? And maybe you would go upstairs. I didn't give stairs though, because it's not going to be functional like I mentioned the other floors, but it's just to give that idea. And I put some seating and I decorated it just to kind of give that sports team pride, you know what I mean? So that's how that is looking. And again, you will see this floating unfortunately, but I mean, I don't really look at those things when I zoom in anyway. But this is how it's looking over here. It's really filled in now. I'm kind of liking how it looks. Let me know what you think in the comments below. But this is the last thing over here, called the Greer Inn, and it is, as you would probably expect, a resort slash hotel, but this is meant to be a sort of smaller local bed and breakfast in the city area, but it doesn't give all of these super luxurious amenities that most resorts would typically offer, but it's just enough. It's quaint and cozy, it has a pub attached to it, and what more could you need? So it does have some stuff for families as well, but you know, it's meant to be more maybe for couples or people who live in town just to get away for the weekend. And it doesn't have Sims for some reason like in this area. They might be in the town though, because it's already letting him check in, which means that I did set it up properly. But there's supposed to be people that are supposed to come here, so I don't know if it's because this save file is empty right now. That's probably why. But so this is the first floor. I guess we could take a look at it from this angle first, I guess, because I kind of looking like we're inside of the hotel and kind of exploring it ourselves. So this is of course the lobby for the check-in area, and there these stairs from the store, I think I used them in another build in this save file already, so if you don't have them, I don't know what it's going to do with the stairs there. I do apologize, but I'm like I have mentioned, I'm not holding back on store content, because this is a save file that was originally just meant to be for myself, but I decided to share with others if they're interested. We have this gentleman statue here, and yeah, I want it to be like they decorated it to make it inviting, and it is meant to be like a nice sort of like local bed and breakfast, but it does have minimal maybe decorations or offering for what is available there. But yeah, I still think it's really cute, and it has a little bit of a grandiose sort of look to it, so it does have a bit of extravagance in certain areas. and I want it to be really cozy. So this is kind of like a reading area and sort of like the sitting room for everybody if they're waiting, or if they were waiting to go get breakfast, or just did and they're just here to relax for a little bit. We have the, like, you can come here and sit by the fireplace and the rocking chair. I'm going to get out of that mode because it was kind of annoying to move around, but this is like where the bookcases are, and this is like the sort of more higher up view. This is the lobby bathroom, but it is through this area here, so you have to use this door. And I really liked the color of like this, I guess you could say royal blue, deep dark blue. I really liked it, so that's like one of the main accent colors I used throughout this build. And this is of course the buffet area. I did set up for almost every food style just in case, and there is some seating here. This is a store chair, and I just think it's like a cute cozy little space to have a nice, you know, buffet breakfast or lunch or whatever the case may be. And then upstairs is where there are 3 VIP rooms that Sims can check into that are not the rabbit hole versions, and 2 of them seat, or I guess sleep, up to 4 Sims, and then the other one is only for up to 2. So this is like the largest one, I would say, most likely. It has this bathroom here, and then this is like a sort of separate little area for one of the, I guess, like bedroom sleeping areas. They all come with an amenity for a mini fridge and a coffee machine, because I do like to have that realism for sort of like you know, hotels and stuff like that. And then this is, of course, the hallway here. I mean, nothing too exciting about a hallway, but, you know, want to show off the entire build. This is the other, like I mentioned, 4 sleeping room, VIP room, and this is the bathroom for it. They all look pretty similar in style. I didn't really change too much about them, but I really did like this pattern for the bedding, so I used that. This is the sort of basic gym, you know, like I said, basic amenities. They wanted to offer some things here, so you do have a gym. And then this is the smaller VIP check-in room that seats up or sleeps up to 2 Sims, with its own bathroom, of course. And then this is meant to be a relaxation, hangout, video game sort of area here for the guests to just relax and hang out in, but maybe it's not really as like quiet, because this is where you would play foosball, video games, and talk and stuff, as opposed to the seating room downstairs where you can read. And then this is actually the rabbit hole for the hotel resort towers, and this will be provided in the actual download itself, since it is hard to get access to these type of rugs. But that is the 2nd floor. And before I forget, let's look at the bar slash pub that is attached to this building. So I did set it up where all of the shifts should be available and have a sim hired. Hopefully it works in a populated version of a save, but this is the entry point. Of course, this is where the bar is, the main area, and I liked the ambiance with the different lighting colors I chose here. Of course, I wanted to have more of like a older style pub look to it, so that's what I went for. And then this is the more of the like hangout and dance area, so it's a bit more lively. Maybe a lot of Sims come here to just hang out, stand while talking while they have their drinks, dance with each other, things like that. And then over here we have the darts board, so you can play darts, and of course if you're checked in. So this will only be functional, by the way, if your sim is checked in. They can't use this otherwise, since it's attached to the resort. But then you also have here to come take photos. The restrooms are in the back here, and then this one object, this is the only piece of custom content I use for this build. It is a 4:3 conversion, I think from around The Sims 3, from the Cozy Bistro kit from The Sims 4. I just really loved it, and it has all these different swatches attached, so I can just keep using it, and it fit really well with the vibe of this pub, so that's why I used it. But I really love how this came out. I liked the like sort of color scheme and just like the sort of coziness of that build. So that is everything I have to show for today's update video. I hope you have been enjoying these updates. Thank you so much to anyone who's been following along, who's been commenting and letting me know what you think, just giving any form of feedback or, you know, compliments or anything like that. I truly appreciate all of it. It really does mean a lot, because it means a lot knowing that others are excited about something that I've been working on. It keeps me motivated to keep showing updates for it. But yeah, thank you so much. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!